What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 1-0. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining the boys. Thank you for joining everyone, all of the above. Grab yourself a popcorn, grab yourself some orange juice. I know someone in the comments last night said they had a beer. Sit tight, because in this episode, got to review the first week of the Premier League's fixtures. Get excited, because there's some controversial talking points, some not so controversial. I'll let you know my thoughts, and we'll enjoy. If you're new, like, subscribe, comment, all helps the channel grow. Follow us on Instagram at _1-0 so you can see more exclusive behind the scenes stuff. First off, we'll start off Fulham Arsenal. Got the season underway. I was excited. I know everyone was excited. Got the fantasy where everyone's sitting there with their phones. What's going on? Is Aubameyang? I captained Aubameyang. Didn't deliver. I was got a triple captain him, but he didn't. Yeah, we'll move on. Fulham. Yeah, look. I said it in my predictions. Don't think they're going to do too well. And yeah, I think Fulham just no me gusta, which means I don't like it in Spanish. Scotty Parker looks like he's about to go star in the new James Bond film. Mitrovic didn't even start. I mean, there was a photo of him smoking cigars in holidays a couple of years, last year. And maybe he's still smoking cigars because he didn't start, which screwed a lot of people on fantasy too. But yeah, Aubameyang, class. Arsenal's kit was class. Fulham just don't look good. They did attack a little bit well at the start of the game. But I'm a big believer in Arteta Ball. I'll tell you that. I'm a big believer in some Arteta Ball. He looks good with his jet black hair, like Anderson .Paak has a song about. Look, it's against Fulham, promoted side, but you can only beat what's in front of you. I don't mind it. I don't mind it from Arsenal so far. Gabriel looked like a good, solid player at centre-back. Teeny looks good if they can keep him fit for the season. But it's only 90 minutes. Still another 37 rounds to go. Take it easy. But Arsenal so far, I don't mind them. I've got a bit of expectations for Arsenal this year. I'm liking it. Moving on, maybe skip over this one a bit quickly. Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Disappointed in Southampton because they were definitely in contention for a Southampton watch, replacing Brighton watch if you're an OG. I had Southampton in contention because Shea Adams, Danny Ings, Ward-Prowse. Last season after lockdown, they were quite exciting. They looked looking quite good. This season, however, obviously first game, I feel like Palace could have been maybe the start of the game where they get a 2-0 win and we move. But Palace obviously 1-0. 1-0. Zaha scoring the goal, good finish. Probably should try and seek a move, which will be good to discuss with the boys when we can start doing podcasts again. Eze, the youngster that they signed. Eze looks like a top baller. Didn't start. I've got him in my fantasy. He looks like a baller. He came on for a little bit. I think a bit of game time in him gives a lot of speed. Could cause Man United a bit of trouble in the next round. Then we'll jump to a game where boy oh boy, wow, we as BT would say was a class. Leeds United versus Liverpool. Feel a bit sorry for Leeds fans. 16 years they've waited to get to the Prem, and they had this moment robbed from them. At Anfield. I mean, the Leeds fans there, Liverpool fans would be there coming off a Premier League trophy. The energy, the vibes, the atmosphere would have been unbelievable. But I tell you what, Leeds came to play. They said, we're not the new boys here. We're coming to stay. Yeah, we're coming to stay. And Liverpool, they were up to the fight too. A couple of defensive mistakes. Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold scored a header, but it was an own goal, offside. From Leeds, though, the only thing I would say is Patrick Bamford is not the way. I've heard stuff of saying that Bamford is Bielsa's golden child. Bielsa just loves him. Even last year I was on a form. They just spent the record signing fee on Rodrigo. He didn't start because of lack of match fitness, new to the team. But when you've got someone like Rodrigo on the bench, who should start providing a bit more expertise and talent on the pitch, Bamford, there was Alisson when he came out, Bamford should have taken it first time. Striker's goal. But look, Liverpool Leeds, cracking of a match. Bielsa is unbelievable. Leeds, so far, a leading contention for Leeds Watch. That's it. New segment of the podcast. So far leading, but we'll see. Tune in, subscribe to not miss a podcast. Bielsa's a class man, tactician at its finest. He sits on a little pyramid, like he's in Egypt or something. His little Esky looks like an Esky or something. I don't know. But Bielsa's class. I mean, as soon as they scored, he's writing notes down. Very excited for Leeds. I think they're definitely here to stay. Could see a bit of a Sheffield with Leeds, which will be interesting to see. I mean, imagine the scenes if Leeds qualify for Europe. Got to obviously take it one step at a time. But Salah, again, proved his worth. Cheeky hat-trick, 2 penalties. But, hey, only Bruno scores penalties. Van Dijk was a little bit... scored a goal, but did get caught out with a long ball. Gomez was, again, a little bit... Alexander-Arnold probably never has the best game. But, again, it's first game. We're talking about it like Leeds won. Liverpool won 4-3. And at the end of the day, this is what separates the top teams from those teams who will just find their way there. Next one, we've got West Ham Newcastle. Boy, are West Ham in trouble, man. I tell you what, if you're a West Ham fan, Maya Jama, Bazinga, Spencer FC, Michael Barry, West Ham, you lot are stuffed. I tell you what, this is not good. I mean, it's against Newcastle. We recruited quite well for Newcastle. Obviously not the Mbappe and the Cavani and the Mertens and Coutinho like was expected, but they did recruit well. Callum Wilson, Fraser, and a 4-4-2. You wouldn't have thought that all Big Bruce had to do was play a 4-4-2 with Andy Carroll up front. I don't know, but they did actually look all right. Jamal Lewis at left back looked like an absolute steal. He was on Liverpool's radar, so obviously he's quite decent. I think they signed for like 10 mil, 14 mil, and he looked good, attacking a lot. Callum Wilson actually played really well. They signed Jimi Hendrix in the midfield from Burnley. Again, he scored a goal. Wilson scored a goal in his debut. I mean, it is against West Ham. It could probably... I'd said they won't get relegated. Go check out my last video to see my season predictions. But, look, I think Newcastle did all right. They did play some good football. West Ham down in the dumps. They're down in the shitter, to mind my French. But Newcastle, not bad. Move on to Leicester, West Brom. Talking about teams who could possibly be down in the dumps. The second half performance for West Brom, yes. First half, to be honest, West Brom were not too shabby. Pereira is good little player in the midfield, but I think they do lack just again. Two of the 3 promoted teams, West Brom and Fulham, I just don't think are up to scratch. Leicester, were a little bit shaky in the first half. Also, I think defense was getting exposed a little bit. Justin at left back was solid, but I think again he could be a little bit of their weakness against the good teams. You know, with the likes of Greenwood running down him, the likes of Salah even. I think Justin could be their weak link. Castagne looked decent on right back, the new signing. And they obviously had Ndidi in at centre back too, which was not really ideal, but Johnny Evans hopefully coming back soon. Jamie Vardy, 33 years old, scores 2 goals. Again, just Jamie Vardy does what Jamie Vardy does. Just scores goals for fun. 2 penalties. It was a pretty bog standard game, to be honest. Not too exciting, not too much. Takes us to Tottenham, Everton. And this was a game which I was very, very keen for. So let me know in the comments who had me in this game. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the Leeds vs Liverpool game. Subscribe while you're there. But Tottenham, Everton was a game I was really looking forward to. I mean, everyone knows the likes of James Rodriguez. Can he prove his worth at Everton? They've got Ancelotti for a full season now if things go well. Allen in that midfield, Doucouré, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Surprising that Andre Gomez started. I think most people expecting possibly a 4-4-2 even maybe, which is what they played last year with James Rodriguez on the right mid, and coming in a little bit with his left peg is a thing of beauty, son. But Everton was solid. Richarlison could have had a hat-trick. Tottenham, on the other hand, were Pupukaka murder. Tottenham were no me gusta. Second half, they looked gassed. Doherty looked gassed. Harry Kane, I think they should sell. We'll touch on that hopefully podcast weeks to come. Would you sell Harry Kane or not? Chuck it in the comments. I just don't know. There's so many players in that team where a Heung-min Son unhappily take him at United. Obviously now they've got Mourinho, who doesn't play attacking football, except for the counter-attack, which could benefit Son. But it gets an Everton, a 50-50 game where Tottenham possibly were favourites, even though a lot of excitement coming out from the new midfield of Everton, the exciting strike force, Calvert-Lewin scoring an absolute beauty, and Digne with the assist, who flies under the radar for one of the top left backs in the league, in my personal opinion. But just go for it. First game of the season, Dele Alli, I don't think he's up to scratch. I think Tottenham will struggle. I predicted Tottenham ahead of Everton in the ladder, only because I feel like Tottenham will have the consistency throughout the whole season. I think Everton's still got a bit of way to go. Mina and Keane actually looked semi-decent. Pickford, I think, is a bit of a vulnerability. But look, I was excited for it. Did it live up to the hype? Not really. But I think there were definitely glimpses of, what, this Everton team could be here to stay. James Rodriguez looked good. Allen, unbelievable. Kante, similar role, just playing deep, getting the interceptions. And Doucouré is an animal. Doucouré and Allen have got to get ball and man first, and then they play, which is what you want in midfield, something that Everton's lacked. But can they do it when it gets cold at Merseyside? Allen's a Brazilian, came from Naples. Doucouré's from London. Can they do it? Let me know. Takes us to Sheffield versus Wolves. Wolves, comfortable win, 2-0. I don't have high expectations for Sheffield this season. Adama Traore did start on the right wing back, which I was talking to the boys. We said that with the likes of selling Doherty, I think Adama Traore could come back, which means Fabio Silva could play a little bit more, the youngster, up front. But again, Wolves, comfortable win. Wasn't really much in this one. Jimenez striking again. Sheffield, I'd be worried for them. Second season syndrome. Well, I think Sheffield could have a little bit of trouble this season. I hope not, because I like them. But the Blades, I don't know. A little bit worrying for Sheffield. But first game, we're judging everyone off 90 minutes. So who's to say? I mean, Man United lost to Villa in a practice game, but that's fine because we had Igalo standing up front. Takes me to the last game of the season. Another one which I think would have drawn a lot of eyes for Chelsea's new exciting list. 3-1 Chelsea against Brighton. Watch. One player I do want to point out is Lamptey, right back for Brighton. He's a hell of a player. Good crack. I think it was on Chelsea's books, and he had to leave because obviously he had the likes of Azpilicueta, Reece James, who scored an absolute worldie, also got an assist. Thank you for the 14 fantasy points, my boy. But yeah, Lamptey looks like a good player. I think it'd be tough. It would be a bit stiff to say that Brighton were great. I think they were okay, but Chelsea just had the extra edge. Havertz, decent. I mean, we've got to give these players time, which is one of the reasons why I don't think that they could challenge for the title this season, because it is going to take them time. Werner, however, was quite sharp, quite speedy. He got a lot of knocks. In the interview after, he said that defenders here are a lot bigger, which means Harry Maguire is on for a field day. Ziyech obviously wasn't playing, but again, he's 27, 28 years old. How much can he contribute to? But I think so far, Reece James couldn't even go out there and say third best right back. Oh, yeah, third or fourth best right back in the Premier League. I think he's a good player. I know Matty Boy, when he was on this, always rated Reece James very highly. But yeah, good start for the season. That was game week 1. Let me know if you enjoyed this quick little reviews. There'll be a new video hopefully on Friday, which will be my predictions. See if you enjoy those. Can't wait to get back into the podcast. Let me know what your thoughts on this week's round. Let me know whether Reece James is in the top 3 right backs in the Premier League, whether Leeds will finish top 4. Just leave it in the comments. All the comments help the channel. Make sure to like, subscribe if you're new. I'm Costa. This is 1-0. Thanks for watching. Catch ya.